Conscious Creation with Cassandra. Hello. Today I want to talk about trusting source. And by source, I mean that which is up there that dictates or makes happen what we experience here. It can also refer to as creator, as God, as Allah, whatever that is for you, also the universe. I use those words interchangeably. Source being that which created the greater power that created all this. And there definitely could be perspective that there is no greater source. But when you take a look at life in a different perspective or a different lens, you can see how source, how the universe, how God really plays a role in our lives, whether we are conscious of it or not. Even just Earth itself, even just humans. Isn't it a little strange that we are the only ones that are as advanced mentally as we are, and no other creature is? And we're the only ones that kind of have this experience of, well, we could do whatever we want, When I say trusting source, trusting that the higher power, that is putting all your faith that source, God, the universe, is working in your favor. Everything that is placed in front of you, every obstacle, every negative experience based on a perspective, every positive experience based off perspective, every experience, everything you come to happenstance, all your circumstances, all is for your higher good. And all of it is meant for you to evolve. It may not seem so in the moment, but often when something happens to us or we experience something, we have a different perspective of it, or we see it differently as time has passed. We look back at that moment like, wow, I really walked away from there with the understanding that I'm always going to be okay. Or whatever lesson you could walk away from your experiences, there always is a lesson. Now, there's many perspectives. You can look at life that everybody is working against you, that everything is really hard for you. These are all potential beliefs, limiting beliefs that you can have inside of you. For example, I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I can't do anything right. I can't trust anybody. Everybody's out to get me. Thoughts like these, beliefs like this, have an influence on what we experience. So if we believe something greater, that the universe is always working for our favor, or that everything we experience is meant to be and meant to teach us something, we go about life differently than if we believe that the world is out to get me, that we're not good enough. Because then we always have that lens, that perspective of what we're looking through as perceiving stuff negatively. Even if there was no malintention, even if there was nothing negatively meant or no negative connotation whatsoever, because we're wearing that lens of that belief, that limiting belief, how we experience it really hits home as in like, oh, I'm not good enough. Or, see, this is why I can't trust people. We use whatever we can to kind of add to that bucket of, oh, this is why I can't trust people. This is why I'm not good enough. And we actually limit, it's called limiting belief, because we limit what we are able to do, what we perceive we're able to do, because we're telling ourselves this story. We're telling ourselves, we have this belief that we are not good enough. Therefore, our thoughts are all shaped around we're not good enough. So are we going to try something new if we believe we're not good enough? No. We're making it harder for ourselves to get where we want to go or where Source wants us to go because we believe something that is not even true. It's just something that we chose to believe. You'll see my other video called Beliefs Are Decisions, and ultimately, if we have a belief, it's because we were either taught it or we came to believe it through experiences. And that's all based off of perspective. So we could change our perspective. We could tell ourselves a new belief and then try to see through that new lens, through that new belief lens, and see how things actually are working for our benefit. See that we actually are part of this world, how we actually do belong, how we do matter, how we are capable and able, and how we are social species. All these different perspectives that harbor growth, harbor moving forward, is where we should be concentrating our energy. However, because we are an organism that evolved from cavemen, we do have a lot of survival instincts. And this is where those limiting beliefs kind of come into play, is that, rock the boat. Really beautiful blue dragonfly just landed on my kayak. Where was I? Living through the experience of life with the lens of things are working out for me. All of this is meant to be. I have greater things to accomplish than get an A on this test. Healthier perspectives, healthier beliefs bring us much further in our life than the negative auto program that we have. It becomes auto program because we either heard it all the time as children. It's usually our parents' fears. We embody those and wear that same pair of goggles. Or from experiences that we interpreted as something, and then we got that belief from there, and then every time something happens, we add to that bucket of, oh, this is why. And going back to the cavemen, we at some point had to learn to survive in the wilderness. So we picked up on clues and sticks and feces of other animals and learn from that we need to be careful, or that fire is hot, or that if we see scat of a bear to not approach, things like this. So we had to learn in our physical environment what to be aware of, and now it's so subconscious and not something we think of consciously. But we took the physical aspect of cavemen and kind of made it mental, in the sense that we no longer have the same threats as we did when we were cavemen. We have social pressures, we have social threats, we have social experiences that we interpret the same, we use the same part of our brains as if we were being attacked by a tiger or whatever it be. We use those same parts of our brain for fear, and we've self-programmed ourselves to be aware of the social fears because we no longer have the physical fears of, are we going to have enough food, hunting and gathering, and predators. So we have evolved, and so has what our concerns are. They have also evolved. So going back to the original point, trusting that the universe is working in our favor, because it is. And even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't believe in source and a higher intelligence in the universe, which is your choice, trust me, you'll get much farther and it will be much easier for you if you do. That is a choice. As I've discussed before, beliefs are a choice. So you can choose to believe there is something, and you could choose to believe there isn't something. But when you put your faith into the power that is greater than our little brains, into the greater consciousness, into source, into the creation of everything and everyone and every interconnected web we have on this planet Earth, you take the pressure off of you as a single human being, and you're like, you got it. Like, you got this figured out. You know exactly where I'm going. You know exactly what experiences I need. And we do this beautiful thing with Source called co-creation. That's why the name of this channel is Conscious Creation with Cassandra, because we actually can create our futures. We actually have, believe it or not, a lot of say into where we're going, what experiences we have, what we want to have. And most importantly, I think the most important is how we want to feel. Because of our programs and because of our limiting beliefs, we often feel the same repetitive pattern. If something doesn't go your way, you could interpret that as like, oh, see, this is just another example of why I'm not good enough. And we feel that. And we have that energy, that vibration through us of, oh, we're not good enough. And if we stay in that energy and we vibrate like that, that's what we're going to propel. That's more of what we're going to experience. But doing that mental switch that like, hey, I decided that I am not going to be the victim anymore. I decided that I'm going to change. I realize this negative belief is running my life, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. It's time to change the narrative. It's time to change the auto program. And when you catch yourself having that thought pattern, that feel pattern of I'm not good enough, and you say, oh, well, nope, we're changing it. We're changing the narrative, and you shake yourself up, stir yourself up, and quote unquote, I hate using this word, but snap yourself out of it, and then be like, I am good enough. Look at all this evidence I have as to why I am good enough. And then you feel that vibration, and you practice that, and every time you feel the negative, to put yourself into the positive and vibrate on that new belief. Feel that new belief, then we bring towards ourselves more of that new belief, more of those experiences that harden that new belief. And that's co-creation. So whatever we feel, think about, and feel is what we bring closer to us. So, if you have a fear of abandonment, guilty as charged, and you're not even sure what your future is going to look like in terms of another individual, in terms of children, and if you're only picturing that which you know, which is abandonment and that fear and being afraid of people, being afraid of social connection, and all those things associated with fear of abandonment, you will live on those lines of either fear of abandonment or actual abandonment. Once you become aware that you're having these thought patterns and these feeling patterns of like, and you decide that you no longer want to play the victim and that you actually want to change that mental conversation and change the course of your life, you can make that decision and then tell yourself, agree upon with yourself the new belief that actually resonates with you. So that could be, I am loved. I belong. And anytime that negative situation, that negative feeling comes up again, be like, no, we've decided something new. We've made a new decision, a new belief that we do belong. And then practice that. Feel that energy of, oh yes, I belong. I'm part of this human race. I am part of this family. And you really hit home with that and anchor yourself in that and then vibrate in that energy, your trajectory of where you end up will be very different than if you were only telling yourself, I don't belong, people are going to leave me. So we can co-create based off of what we think and how we feel our future. we can dictate where we're going. So that's just something to think about, something to mull over. I know we talked about a lot in this. I believe some of these topics have been delved into depth. For example, the beliefs are decision in a separate video. I live, breathe, speak, think, sleep these things, and I'm extremely passionate about it. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I would love to run this by you. I didn't know what my limiting beliefs were. It took some time to understand them, and I would love to help you discover what your limiting beliefs are and how they're hindering your growth in your life, and then work on how to get on the other side of them. Mind you, it is a practice. It is a repetition of the new belief to actually anchor it within you. But you gotta do those reps, because where you're going is going to be so much greater than everything you've experienced. All right. Thank you for joining me in this kayak journey around this beautiful Lake Norman, and your patience with the jet skiers that went by. But the best of luck to you. I am here. Reach out and take care.